I'm Betty King. I'm 98 years old the past 7th of April, and I'm from Charleston, Arkansas. I was born in Fort Smith, and I think my mother told me I was about 4 when we moved to Bloomer, Arkansas, which is 6 miles from here. And I've been here in this area the rest of my life. So I have had an older sister and a younger brother. They're both deceased. And my daddy worked for the Dr. Pepper Company. And that's the only drink I knew there was for a long time. We didn't get to get them free, but they had a summer home between here and Fayetteville, and they had a yearly picnic up there in the summertime, and they iced down Dr. Peppers in barrels, and all the families came, and we could drink as many as we wanted. We didn't have to ask or anything. So I got a lot of Dr. Peppers, so I still drink Dr. Peppers. Somebody asked me why I was living so long, and I said, Dr. Peppers. My sister, until she slipped off and got married when she was 15, and so she wasn't with us anymore. But she worked at the same place I worked after I got out of high school, and it was a Garrison Furniture Company in Fort Smith, and she worked in the factory, and I did secretarial work in the office. So, and my brother, he was 6 years younger than me. So by the time that I guess I had got married, by the time he went to service, and he was in service a long, long time. But he married. He has 5 children.
And how much older was your sister?
3 years.
So y'all were close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she worked when I was still in high school. So if I needed a dress for a banquet or something, she'd buy it for me. Pearl Harbor was in 41 in December. And that's the year we went into the 9th grade. So all of our high school years were during World War II. We graduated in 45 before the war ended, or about the same time. And I have to tell you about our class trip. Mm-hmm. We went to, where'd we go? Carlsbad, New Mexico. And by way of Oklahoma somewhere, we had some Catholic friends. Classmates, and they had to go at that time. They had to go to church, and they didn't do it on Saturday. They had to go on Sunday. So we stayed all night somewhere in Oklahoma, and I'm not sure where, but so they could go to church that night. And then we went on the next day into Carlsbad, and we got there at nighttime. We didn't have reservations, and of course we went in a cattle trailer truck with a canvas top. And we moved all the way through Texas, going and coming. In Oklahoma, we had a ball.
How long did it take to get there?
We got there the second day.
That was a long trip?
It was a long trip. Well, the day we left on that trip, I guess I was 18, because we were seniors, and it was my birthday when we left, so I was pretty quiet. I didn't want anybody whipping me. 18 looks might hurt. My mother and daddy ran a cafe at Bloomer, and a lot of the boys from Branch and around, Branch is the next town from Charleston, and then it's Ratcliffe you were talking about. And they'd come up to mother and daddy's to cafe, and then all the girls in Bloomer would gather around, and we'd just play games, talk, and visit, have fun out there on the lawn. And he came up there one night, and one of my friends kind of liked him, and so she had a few dates with him, and she was staying in Fort Smith then. She worked up there too. But we ate lunch together, and she started questioning me one day about what I'd done over the weekend, and I said, oh, I had a date, and you're not going to like it, because I went with Paul King. She said, you didn't. And I said, yes, I did. So from there, I dated him. And at the time, I didn't ever date the boy, but he was from Muldrow, Oklahoma, but Billy Ray Brownfield. And he worked at one factory, and I worked we'd talk to each other we knew each other because his friend started the Drums Business College when I did. And so she ended up marrying him, and I married the one that she was dating to start with. Isn't that something?
Well, it worked out.
Yeah.
How long were y'all married?
We married in 49, and he died in 2010.
How did he go about asking you?
You know, I cannot remember. I really can't. I remember when we looked at rings on Garrison Avenue in the windows and all, and I knew one I still have on was one I liked the best. And I remember that he brought it. I guess, I don't know, maybe he hadn't even asked me before, but I just assumed, and he did too, I guess. And
sounds about right.
Anyway, yeah, he got me at work one afternoon and drove out. It's close to the National Cemetery in Fort Smith, and it was kind of not a lot of traffic there, and he just parked over the side. And that's when I guess he asked me then, and then he gave me the ring then.
So you said yes.
I said yes. We decided we wanted to be together and have some good times going places and doing things. And so we did. And then we decided we'd maybe have a baby. So we tried. It didn't work. So I had gone to the doctor, and he sent me to Fort Smith to a specialist up there. And next time I went back to him, he said, well, you don't have to worry about that. He said, you're pregnant already. So then I was nauseous, quite nauseous for a long time. But anyway, I had Randy. I had Randy at Paris in Logan County, 1956. In 1961, I had Stephen at Ozark in Franklin County. In 67? Is that right? Yeah, 67. I had a little girl. She was born in Fort Smith in Sebastian County. I lived in the same house all of those years, but I had babies in 3 different counties. And then my husband told somebody that I couldn't have one until I got one in school. It's the reason they were so strung out. Because they're about 6 years apart.
Do you remember in the hospital how that went? Your husband wasn't in there, was he?
No, but he could hear me.
Really?
Well, the doctor came in first, and it was not the one I had seen. I had never seen this man before. And he told the nurse that he was going down to the drugstore and get a cup of coffee, and for her to call him when she needed him. And I thought, I need you now. Why are you going off and leaving me up here? You're going to get a cup of coffee, and I'm having a baby. Well, he came back. I can't remember all of it really, because they gave me gas, they said. But every time I get a sniff, they'd pull it back. So I didn't get much. But anyway, I could feel him when he started cutting. And I started screaming. And when I came to, I was screaming so loud that I thought, oh my land, somebody must be dying. And then when I finally came to, the nurse was saying, honey, if you'll stop crying, hollering, this baby will be born. If you don't, it won't be born. And the minute that I relaxed, I felt it come out. It was born natural. They give you gas, but there wasn't much gas where I was having that baby.
So, and you didn't know that you were expecting?
No, I did not. I had no idea what I was expecting. I had never been around a young baby before, other than my brother was closest, because during the Depression, you didn't go anywhere.
I tell your voice is getting
Thank you.
Girl.
Appreciate it. Now what?
So it's a boy. That's how you found out, huh?
Yeah, it's a boy. That's the way I found out. Well, when I got pregnant with Susan, we had a group of 4 couples, and we played rook every New Year's Eve. We had a New Year's Eve party, and it moved every year to another house. We took turns. So I got up on Christmas Eve morning, and I told Paul, I said, I'm pregnant. He said, no, you're not. And I said, I am. I'm as pregnant as I ever was with those boys. So the party was that night, so we didn't tell anybody at the party, of course. And he wouldn't agree that I was pregnant till I went to the doctor, Kelsey, and found out that I was. But all the time he ate lunch, he carried the mail, but at Cecil over north of here, he would eat lunch with this bunch of men that worked for I think it was either a gas line or something that they were doing over there. And they teased him because his size 40 and he is 45. He's going to have a baby. Well, that's all right. He said, we're going to have a girl. We need a girl, and we got 2 boys, and we're going to have a girl. His mother told me, he said, you're bound to have another boy because somebody that's that sure is not going to get what they want. But anyway, I went to the hospital, and I had that little girl. And when they put me in the room, he had a dozen red roses, and he had written on the card, I can't remember what it was, but it's a girl.
For a job.
Oh, for a job well done. It's a girl. And when Stephen was born at Ozark, Dr. Hensley they used to have something called a memory. It kind of kept you from memory and stuff. And so I didn't have any of the problems like I had at Paris. We went to the national convention every year for rural letter carriers. So we've been over in a lot of states. And I always enjoyed. I ended up after, I don't remember how Paul was when he quit driving. He just, all of a sudden, we got in the car to go to one of the eastern states, and I can't remember which one it was exactly, but he got in the car and drove to Russellville and got out, and we got gas and then went in. He always liked to eat and drink when we were traveling. So he came back with his hands full and got in the passenger seat. And he said, okay, it's yours. He never got in the passenger seat. I mean, in the driver's seat. I don't think ever a trip I drove. I learned to drive in big towns and everything just by reading this, taking it slow enough that I could read the exits, And we had a road map. They don't have such stuff anymore. They tell you how to get there. I always liked South Dakota, where the president's faces are on the. I always hoped all my children would get to see that because we saw it when Randy was about 3 years old when we first went to there. And then we went back in 77, so those pictures in there. We were going to Spokane, Washington to a convention that year. But one year we went to Portland, Oregon, and about 3 years later we went to, I don't think it was Maine, the state Maine, but I can't remember the name of the town.
Are you a music fan? Can you recommend any music for me?
Not that you'll like.
You like polka?
Oh, do we like polka?
Over here.
Oh, we had a lot of time with polka. I love good religious singing. Statler Brothers, my favorite. Now, I like all kinds of music, really. I just like music. I'd rather have a radio going than a TV if I'm doing something in the house, and
If you could tell your 35-year-old self something, what would it be?
I think always be kind. Think before you speak, especially if you're going to say what you think. Try to do something for somebody every day. You can't just send a card or something. Just let them know you care.
Oh, that's your microphone.
Oh, I thought, where did I get that? Where did I pick that up?
Just now. Just now realized
If that comes out on there, they will think you picked up a hobo.